So we'll just continue here. Bruce, you were talking about this program, and if you're wanting to change the program because you don't want to live from the 95% that's 70% negative. So how do we change this program that we're going to fall into 95% of the time anyhow? So it's running good stuff.
So the consequence is that 95% of our life is coming from the subconscious programs. And if you can observe the programs, then you can identify what things are not working for you. And therefore, you have an idea of what program you would like to have versus the one you are now displaying. And you say, I want to change the program. And I go, well, this is where problems have really come into an effect, because the two minds, conscious creative mind, subconscious, the habit mind, learn in different ways. And so when we try to apply conscious knowledge to subconscious program, it doesn't generally work. I can gain conscious knowledge reading a self-help book. We can gain conscious knowledge watching this video that we're doing right now. We can change consciousness by going, aha, I got a new belief, and I changed it. But subconscious is called the habit mind. Relevance about a habit is if it changes, it's not a habit anymore. So habits, resist change. That's built into what a habit is. So I say, my subconscious mind's habit mind. I said, resist change. I go, yeah, it does. So the significance is, how do I make change? I go, the only way you can make change is the way the subconscious mind learns in the first place. Okay. So I said, well, how does it learn? I said, first 7 years it learned because the vibration of the brain was not at the higher level of consciousness, is at a lower level of subconscious, okay? And this is called theta, and it's hypnosis. I say, oh, well then hypnosis is a way to change the mind. I go, absolutely. Point. Do I need to see a hypnotherapist? I go, no. Cool part, you don't need that. You already know what the issues are because they manifest in your life as problems. So I say, what you do is you find a program that on a stick or a CD or on your computer, a self-help program, self-realization. What is it you want?
You've given the background. Now you're going to share what to do with the, you don't have to do hypnosis. You're listening to guided imagery for your wishes and desires.
Okay. So every night when you go to bed, immediately after consciousness checks out, there's an opportunity to use theta, which is the next brain state, which is hypnosis. So putting earphones on and hearing a program, interestingly, the conscious mind doesn't hear the program. The program is going straight down into the subconscious. That's called self-hypnosis. That's a very effective way of making change. But after age 7, hypnosis is not how we made new programs. After age 7, we made new programs by repetition, practice. You want to drive a car? It's a nice idea, but you got to get in the car and practice how to drive the car. You want to play an instrument? Again, good idea, but unless you practice, which is repetition, it won't manifest. So what you want to do is, if you want to change your behaviors, you have to practice another behavior. And it does not mean a sticky note. A sticky note is more or less a suggestion for change. Change is the active process of repetition. Simple one. You're not a happy, you want to be a happy person, then all day long, no matter how unhappy you are, you repeat to yourself, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. And it sounds kind of silly because you're not happy, but I say repetition. I say, so what's the result? Habituation. At some point, the subconscious mind learns, I am happy, I am happy. You don't have to even repeat it anymore. I say, what's relevant? And the function of the mind is to make coherence between your beliefs and your reality. If I put in a belief, I am happy, and I'm not, guess what the function of the mind is? To make me happy. So all of a sudden I say, once I have the program installed, I am happy, I will automatically create behaviors to generate happiness. The new age way of looking at it, I like it, it's a funny statement, is fake it till you make it. Meaning act or pretend that you have what you want and just pretend it and repeat it, because that's the habit that will ultimately put that belief in. And once a belief is in, the cool part is no more work on your part, because once the belief is in, it's the subconscious and the mind's ability to manifest that subconscious program, which is automatic. So the cool part is, you want to change your life? Yeah, there's a little work up front, but once the new program is in, it's automatic. You don't have to work on it anymore, so it's a lot easier then. So we have two ways that we discuss. Number one, hypnosis, self-hypnosis. Every night when you go to bed, earphones playing a program. Number two, repetition, habituation. This is the second way that we learn things. So after age 7, whatever you learn, riding a bike, driving a car, whatever it is, you learned it by practicing. And so you can learn something new by practicing new behavior. And then lastly, something brand new. I connected to the old phrase, necessity is the mother of invention. And significance is this: the world is facing a mass extinction, which includes human beings, not in 1,000 years, no, within decades. And the significance is human behavior is creating the problem. Therefore, the only way out of the problem is to change human behavior. And so nature has created a change mechanism that is fabulous because it's so fast and efficient compared to the hypnosis or the habituation. It's called energy psychology. And it engages what I would refer to as super learning in the brain. So you can download new behaviors within minutes rather than in days or weeks using the other two modalities. On my website, brucelipton.com, simple, under resources is a whole listing of 25 or more energy psychology modalities that can be employed to change a belief. And I said, well, what do you want to change? I said, oh, just go back. And I said, what in your life isn't working? If you're not healthy, the statement is, I am healthy. If you're not lovable, the statement is, I am lovable. And you take those positive ones using A, hypnosis, B, repetition, or C, energy psychology. And you install those programs, and then your life will change. Your behavior will change. Your biology will change. Your life experiences will change. And they change toward what you want it to change to. So all of a sudden it says, oh my goodness, I'm going to create the life I want. I go, yes, you can do that. But you have to make sure the programs in your subconscious support the life you want. And I said, well, that's when you just look at your life. Wherever the struggle is, it just generally reflects that that belief is not part of your programming.
Thank you for that. And, you know, in my practice, I do acupuncture. I also use Psych-K because of you. I got introduced to Psych-K through you, and EFT, the Bankston healing method, rapid transformational therapy. So check out Bill's website under resources because there's several that you can do. In my experience in clinic, when I started not just focusing on the physical complaint, but the emotional and the programs that we found underneath, kind of regression work, this is when I see the miracles for my patients, the transformations on the table. And so it is rapid. It is, you know, people feel a sense of peace when they come through one of these sessions. So I encourage people to look for those guided imageries to listen to first thing when you wake up or go to bed. As Dr. Lipton has mentioned, that's when you're going into that alpha and theta naturally. So it's a perfect time to reprogram. And then there's techniques that you can, energy psychology or these belief change modalities that can help do that rapid learning. So thanks for sharing that.
Well, and let me just emphasize, acupuncture, of course, is a very serious understanding because the information is not really chemical information, it's energy information. And understanding the energy circulatory system, which is what acupuncture focuses on, you can free up the flow of that energy and affect where it's inhibited. So indeed, acupuncture is a way of accessing that consciousness that is interfacing with your body. Rather than dealing with your body, you can deal with the energy flow, and then the body will accommodate that.
And a few interesting things with the acupuncture. One is people often refer to it as the acubuzz. You know, they feel a little different after the treatment because acupuncture, through using heart rate variability to measure it, kind of engages the parasympathetic. So I believe it's putting you into that alpha and even theta. So it's a perfect entry to doing that reprogramming of the mind on the table. And then it is information. Like you said, it's energy, where sometimes you put acupuncture you do an acupuncture session for your patient, and then they go, I don't understand, I have these crazy sadness, and they don't have any reason. And then they just cathartic cry, they just release. because again, the body is letting go, releasing. So it's all these modalities are so available to us in this common area that there's just so much available. So again, check out Bruce's website because he's got these resources, and there's many ways to help you heal and heal your mind, which helps you on an emotional level, and then you get the physical positive repercussions. Bruce, you mentioned in some of our conversation that humanity is facing a crisis. It's not a long time away. It's like decades where we could lose our planet, or we as humanity could become extinct. And I love. I've used this before. Einstein. I love Einstein. You know his quotes. And you've talked about you can't solve a problem at the same level you've created at. And so there's so many people thinking about global warming and humanity, but in my opinion, they're trying to solve the problem at the level we've created it. And I think you have a different take. Can you share, and this kind of ties into your book, Spontaneous Evolution, I think is the title of the book. What can we do as individuals to change the course of extinction of humanity and the loss of our planet?
Well, I think one of the most important things is, first of all, understanding who we really are. That we look at ourselves as, oh, we're just beings that got here by some accident. I'm on the earth just like an ant or a horse or some other animal on the earth. And I go, no, it's a little bit more than that, because we are endowed with creativity. And it turns out, and let me emphasize, is quantum physics, the most valid science on the planet. The primary principle of quantum physics is consciousness is creating our reality. And so the issue is, if you look at the reality and it's not really working right, there are people who say, well, let's go change the reality. And I go, no, first change the consciousness, because that's what's manifesting reality. So this is an opportunity to say, first, who are we? Well, we've been programmed to perceive that we're just victims of life. And, you know, we go out there and just hope for the best. When the truth is absolutely that we're creators of this life. And if we would get that power back, we would create something totally different. But most people just feel, hey, I am a victim. That was the program. I am victim. And I have no power on this planet. When in fact, you are creating this planet. Collectively, we make the creation. And it's significant because our thoughts are shaping the world. Einstein, let's bring Einstein in here for 1 second. There's an energy realm and what we perceive as a material realm, but that's an illusion, because what is material is actually energy. I say, so what was the relevant quote? And the quote is this: the field, which is the invisible energy that's around us, which includes thought. Field is the sole governing agency of the particle. Particle is matter. But what does that mean? It says your thoughts are creating the material expression of this world. And this is a fact of physics, and now it's a fact of biology as well. Your thoughts are manifesting your genes and your behavior to conform to whatever your thoughts are. And so therefore, we have to look at the way we've been living on this planet, because our thoughts are somehow we're separate from nature. Oh, we can do whatever we want. You know, the biblical belief is nature was created, and then God said, hey, let's add some humans on top of that. And that separated us from the creation. Oh, creation first, humans later. It's like, no, we were created with the creation. We are nature. We have never been separated from nature except in our consciousness. But when we consciously separate from nature, it says we can do whatever we want. And it's like, doing whatever we want has actually, you know, destroyed the garden, of which we are part of the animals in that garden. And now that the garden is collapsing, the ecosystem is collapsing, we, along with the other animals that are disappearing, are going to disappear as well. And I said, well, then what's causing this? Well, this is called the sixth mass extinction that we're in. By definition, that means there were 5 mass extinctions previous to this one. I go, yes, the last one actually was 66 million years ago. There was a mass extinction. And I go, what was happening? I say, well, the world was thriving. Nature was thriving. And there were these massive dinosaurs all over the place. And the ecosystem was thriving. And boom, it disappeared. It was now attributed to a comet hitting near Mexico that upended the ecosystem, but it wiped out the organisms, and life had to start all over again. And I say, well, now here we are, the 6th time. Previous 5 due to natural things like the comet hitting the Earth or tectonic plates moving with earthquakes and volcanoes and things like that. But this mass extinction is caused by human behavior. And it basically says we have misunderstood who we are in the scheme of what nature is all about. We are nature. If we destroy nature, we destroy ourselves. So we need to recalculate who we really are in this. And the first thing is, as we've just been talking about, we are creators. But if we create because we see they're a victim, we're a victim of the world and it's out of control, then we create a world out of control. And it's time for us to own our responsibility. We better start recognizing, like the indigenous people of this planet did, such as the Native Americans, First Nation people up in Canada, both of them recognize they are part of a garden and that their job was to be gardeners in the garden. Somewhere along the line, we lost that connectivity, that we own everything. We can do what we want with everything because we're the masters. And how's that working out? And the fact is, we lost our connection with nature. We lost our connection with ourselves. And so this is a wake-up call that says, you better go out there and start taking care of your yard because the world is falling apart. I don't want you to go out and save the world. The old hippie thing is, before you save the world, save your own backyard. I think this is where we have to start. As individuals, we have to say, look, am I living in harmony with this planet? And if I'm not, then I am part of the problem because it's the disharmony that is causing the destruction. And so there's a wake-up call for all of us right now. And it says, are you living in harmony? Well, you know, it's interesting because if you are living in harmony, guess what? Then you're going to be healthy, you're going to be happy, and you're going to create an environment that is heaven on earth. And we're not doing that. And I say, why? Because program, I'm a victim of this, and these problems are not anything to do with me. And it's like, yes, they are. And until we own responsibility, then by definition, we are victims of the world in which we're in. So your work, Lorne, is really critical for me because it's really trying to wake people up and say, if you're creating, what the heck are you creating? Look at your world and tell me if is this what you want? And it's all programming. And this is where we then got into the programming that our behavior that we're expressing, which is not in harmony with life, is not from our conscious wishes and desires. It's just a program that's been passed from generation to generation to generation. And now it's a wake-up call that says, stop the program, because this program is self-destructive at this point. And human civilization has caused the problem. And as the Einstein quote said, if we created the problem, then we damn well better change the way we're living, because the problem will persist as long as we keep, living the way we're living. So it's important for all of us to come to the realization that we are playing programs. They're not in harmony with the world. They're not in harmony with ourselves. We are sick. The planet's sick. And the only way to change that is not to change the body, not to change the planet, but first change the consciousness, because that's where everything is manifesting from. And so A, we're spiritual. B, we are very powerful in controlling our lives, because epigenetics, the new science, shows that our biology, our behavior, our health, and issues like that are totally controlled by consciousness. And that if we start to exercise that consciousness, not only do we save ourselves, but we save the planet as well. And so these are two big wake-up calls right now that we have to pay attention to.